Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today we SAP friends are going into the world of SAP and will explore the concept of source list. So these are the topics or questions which we are going to get the answers today. That is, what is source list? Why source list? That is, what is the requirement of source list in SAP? And what are the ways we can create source list in SAP? The T codes, and the table where source list is stored. The first question which must pop into our minds is what is source list? Before moving ahead, that how it is created or why it is there in the SAP, we must understand what exactly it is. So, a source list is a fundamental list that is used to define approved vendors for a particular material at a specific plant. It essentially acts as a pre approved pool of suppliers you can source your material from. Now, the next question is why source list? Okay, we can maintain the relationship of vendor and material in purchase info record as well. But why do we need the source list? It comes handy when we would like to know the source of supply for a particular material, that what all vendors are there available who can supply this particular material at a specific time interval. So source list includes list of possible sources of supply for a material over a given framework of time, right? Source list can be copied from one plant to another, that is, the material is extended from one plant to the another, but the source of supply for the same material are same, so you can copy the source list from one plant to the another. It improves the supplier selection. In just we can say that it simplifies the list of the qualified vendors for a material who are reliable for our material on the basis of maybe quality, pricing, delivery requirements. It streamlines the processes and the negotiation and other processes of procurement activities are streamlined altogether. So, next question is what are the ways the source list can be created? So, there are mainly two ways where we can create source list in SAP, that is automatic, and the next is manual creation of source list. So let's go ahead and see both the steps or both the ways how we can create source list in SAP directly. So the first is automatic creation of source list. So automatic creation of source list can be done in the material master. So you must know the to navigate to the material master, the T code is MM01, but we are going for the automatic creation of source list. That is why we are going to go into MM02, as we are not creating a material, we are updating it, we are changing it. So for that the T code is MM02. If you would like to check out how material is created, material master is created, and how the extension of material master from one plant to another is carried out, you can check our video whose link is attached in the description. So let's go ahead into MM02 and enter a material. This is a raw material. Let's go ahead into, we can select all, but the work which we require is in purchasing. Does not exist. Okay. Let's choose this. The material is created for 1075 plant. Now for automatic creation of source list, we are specifying that this specific material, that is steel rods raw material, can be procured from specific vendors, or there is a list of potential vendors who can supply this materials. So for that we need to activate, or we need to make the automatic creation of source list. For that we need to go to purchasing view. that is, there's a field for source list. There we have it. We need to go into source list and activate this field and save it. Now the automatic creation of source list for this specific steel rods raw material is done. The material is updated. So next is the manual creation of source list. For that, the T code which is used is, let's update our sheet so that we are up to date. Purchasing view, we need to activate source list field. Okay, let's go ahead into next, that is manual. For manual creation, the T code is ME01, or we can go via menu path, that is logistics, materials management. Next is master data under purchasing, source list. So this is where we maintain our source list, that is ME01. Let's click it. This is the material which we will be updating the source list for. That's how we do it. For which plant, we must specify the plant. Let me show you. If I remove this plant and try to go ahead, no. Enter a plant. We must enter the plant. For which plant we are providing this source of supplies or suppliers or vendors for this steel raw material for plant 1075. Let's go ahead. Now, as you can see, there is already one source list or a vendor is updated in this list. This is the list, that is source list record. This is where the list of source of supplier are updated. So, in the source list, for the specific framework of time, which supplier will be able to provide us this material for this plant. So that is what is happening over here. We need to provide, let's say, we have another supplier who can provide us from today's date till maybe 26th, 14th May. The supplier is 251. The purchase August 1075. So we have updated the list that there is a supplier 251. There are two suppliers as of now in the list, that is 256 and 251. Both can deliver this material to us for plant 1075. But 256 can only deliver the material for this much duration till 8th October 2025. Supplier 256 would be able to provide this steel raw material. But there is one more supplier, that is it. There is, we have one more potential vendor who can supply the steel raw material for till duration for the framework of time till 2026. Now there are two options over here. This is fixed and this is blocked. Let's say the supplier 256 has changed his business, or we do not have the terms now, the negotiation did not work with the supplier 256, and we do not want to procure material, we do not want anybody to procure material, this steel raw material from supplier 256. For that case, we can activate this block field. Similarly, if we would like to, we have the negotiation properly placed and the supplier 251 has agreed, and this is the only supplier from which till 2026 we would like to procure the material, then everybody, how would anybody know that this is the supplier only from which steel raw material should be procured? For that, we fix the vendor, that is, this is the button which we activate for fixing this material, that this steel raw material should only be procured from supplier 251, because this vendor is fixed for this material for such plant. This is the concept. If none of them fixed or blocked are activated, then it is up to us. The pricing and everything we can compare, uh, and we can take any of the suppliers, but it is fixed or it is unblocked. In that case, we can procure from the supplier. So that is how we create the manual creation of source list. Source list changed, that means the additional changes we done or additional supplier we did was updated in the sheet. As you can see, our fixed vendor is updated for our material, steel raw material for SAPMM testing plant. So this is how we create the manual ME, manual creation of source list via ME01 path. And we also understood the concept of blocked vendor, and we also understood the how we can fix a vendor. So fixed vendor. So T codes, we have understood that for automatic creation, the T code is MM02. The manual creation of source list is ME01. Next is one of the important, or we can say tricky interview question is, what is the T code that is used to update source list? So you might guess it would be ME02. How things work, right? Because the T codes usually work as for creation it is 01, for updation it is 02, and for display it is 03. But that is not the case in source list. So it is bit tricky, but if you know, then you know. So for creation, you are right, it is ME01. Display is also for display of source list, it is ME03. How it should be? Okay, I did not enter. It is ME03. But for doing changes or alteration or updating, it is changes. We can say it is ME04 and not 2. So these are the important T codes. This is the important one because many times uh, interviewer can ask, how can you update a source list and how can you fix a vendor for a material. So you can tell the interviewer that in ME01 we can update, that is in source list we can activate the fixed vendor field for a material, and that is how we can fix a vendor for a specific material. So that is one of the important question that interviewer can ask. The next is table. Where does the source list is stored? So table is EORD. Let's go ahead and check how we can check a table. So the T code to check tables is SE16N. Let's enter it. This is where we enter tables. So EORD is used for source list. Let's remove this maximum number of hits. Let's execute. And we have all the list of the source list that are maintained in the system, that is for which material and for specific plant, what all source lists are created. As we can see for our material as well, this is the one which we created, this is the one, yes, that for our material for 1075 plant, that for this duration it is fixed, that is why there is an X, that is, this is a fixed supplier. So that's all for now, and comment down what all videos you would like to watch, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.